Welcome to the San Antonio FC Fancast. I'm your host, Royce, along with Full House today. Let me go around the horn to introduce everybody. First of all, we got Harry. Harry, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm here, brother. Living the dream. Living the dream. We also have Rafa. Rafa, how are you?
Pretty good. Just finished one podcast and here I'm doing double duty for this one.
Double duty, back to back, double header. There's
breaking news.
Was it Reggie Jackson? It was. Can't think of the baseball player, but there's a famous quote.
Pause.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Oh, I just saw that. Holy crap.
What just happened?
Let me see the details. That literally just happened. The Spurs made the trade for Fox from Sacramento.
Oh, shit.
Exactly what people tune into this podcast for.
That literally just happened. Holy crap.
Well,
Okay.
Zach Levine's going to the Kings, too. So, Darren Fox to the Spurs on a multi-team trade that also moves Zach Levine to the Kings. So,
wow.
It's family related, the Spurs Sports and Entertainment, San Antonio FC.
It is.
So, back to the introductions, Rafa. Sorry to cut you off.
Wow.
Rafa cut himself off.
Oh.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, to finish my thought real quick, there's a baseball player that said whenever they're going to play doubleheader, today's so nice, we should play twice. Continue, Rafa. Continue on your...
No, just like I said, just did double duty. 50-50 podcast. If you didn't get to see it, it's on X and on YouTube, so check it out. Talked about hidden gems and dark horses. And we had two great interviews with Coach Strong from Bernie High School and Coach Olson from Austin Northeast.
Very, very cool. We also have Matthew Gamez. How are you?
I don't know how to feel because I got Wolf over at Dynamo now. So
Nope. Hey, this isn't the Houston Dynamo
I'm just
podcast.
saying, hey,
Moving on.
Introduction.
Welcome to the SAFC
Introduction.
Fancast, where we talk about the San Antonio Spurs, the Houston Dynamo, maybe Manchester United at some point, probably Club America,
Baseball.
a little bit of city
baseball, exactly.
But no seriousness. I'm just ready for Friday, man. Just that way I can get a supporter meeting done and over with. So
With the trade news, it's the SS&E Fancast tonight.
Yeah,
No
literally.
And hey, me and Royce have kind of talked about, hey, the podcast is too long. This is how it gets too long, Royce.
Hey, yell at Rafa. That's not on me. That's Rafa going, wait a minute.
It's because I got the
wait a minute.
I got the alert.
Wait a minute.
So when I was about to talk, the alert beep, breaking news, like, and I saw Spurs.
We're a mess.
Uh-oh.
Apologies. We are off the rails, folks.
But yeah, just can't wait for our finally to have our meeting on Friday.
Fair enough. And we go to Jonathan. Jonathan, question for you. How do you feel about the Luka Doncic trade?
Don't really care, honestly.
No, ask him about Man City's performance today.
No. It was a bit. I didn't have to do that.
I mean, I'm here on the podcast, hopefully firing on all cylinders. Manchester City, especially defensively, is not. So, yeah. And to all of our viewers out there, I will try to keep them on the rails and make no promises.
Good luck. All right, Harry, take it away, brother. Intros are done. Take it away.
So we did the welcome to the Fancast. Let me do that. Is it too early for this?
All right, bro.
Oh, wow.
All right.
I
All
mean,
right, and that pads our show by another 30 seconds.
Yeah, you are not helping. Oh, wow.
Hold on. What screen am I trying to get up here? There we go. All right. So initially here, San Antonio went all week without any news and then decided to dump two things on January 31st. The first one, trialists that started against the Houston Dynamo. Jimmy Medranda, left back, 30 years old. Interesting. This is one of the few times that I've seen head coach Carlos Lamosa talking about it. We're excited to welcome Jimmy to San Antonio. Jimmy brings a lot of experience and leadership to the team, and a player who defends well and gives us an extra boost in our attack. He's from Colombia. We're going to talk about that Colombia again here in a second. Began playing in Colombia's second division with Deportivo Pereira in 2012. Was loaned to Sporting Kansas City, and that was made permanent in 2014. He won the MLS Cup, or was on one of those teams, won 2 Open Cup titles, 2015, 2017. In his 7 total seasons, he played 108 league appearances, over 5,600. Also was loaned to be determined Oklahoma City Energy. They're going to be coming back as a new team. And everybody's favorite, Swope Park Rangers, who used to loan the starting lineup every time San Antonio played from the Sporting Kansas City down to them. Also spent time with Nashville in 2020, Seattle Sounders through 2020 and 2022, the Crew in 2023. And then I think last year he was with Deportivo Cali in Colombia's top flight. So here, let me show this picture. Veteran, left back. We'll kick it over to you, Jay. Check your thoughts from the media perspective, and the trial list is signed. You're on mute.
Yep, forgot to unmute. My bad. Yeah, from that first preseason match against the Houston Dynamo.
Pause. Rafa, your best friend. Hello, everybody. Hello, Royce. Hello, Rafa. I heard Madrid lost to Espanyol. Is that true?
Yeah, but they forgot about that. This is the Real Madrid. This is the Real Madrid Fancast right now.
All of a sudden, it's not the Real Madrid podcast. That's amazing.
Fancast.
Funny how
Go
that
ahead,
happened
Jonathan.
real quick.
Go ahead,
Jonathan has more important things to say.
Hey, sure. Anyway, yeah, the one missing piece from that starting lineup against Houston Dynamo, there was one trialist. We assumed it left back. I don't know if it's been explicitly said, but we're kind of connecting the dots here, I guess. This is a signing that when it was announced, I'm going, that name sounds familiar. And then you read about him. Okay, he's very experienced, particularly here in the US. He understands the American soccer landscape, so that's good. He's won titles at the top levels, a couple of open cups, a couple of MLS cups. So when you get a chance to bring in that kind of quality, when he says, yeah, sure, I'm willing to come to San Antonio, I'm willing to come back to the States, you definitely take that. That is a pretty good signing. Really nice feather in the cap of what Ferruzzi and Yamosa were able to do bringing him here. As long as he's able to avoid the injury bug, which we know is a tall order with SAFC, he's going to be a really good piece to have. And, as long as you don't ask him to go 90 minutes up and down the flank every week, sometimes twice a week, as long as you kind of manage his minutes, don't burn him out, he's got plenty of experience, plenty of skill. He should be very solid this year.
Matt, then Rafa.
I didn't really got much to read into it besides he was a left back, so I just gotta wait and see how it goes with him. But it's good to know that he has previous championships and experiences, so it should be a good add-on to that back line.
Yeah, with Blanco hurt, this signing makes sense. I mean, you need to add depth to the team. He's got experience, so you're not going to lose a lot. Maybe the speed a little bit, but what Blanco has. But like I says, you can still substitute that with experience. So that was the issue we had last year, not having enough defensive depth on our team, and I think that's that direction Yamosa is taking. That we need to build the defense, build a depth, because that's kind of going to be the foundation, and then everything else is going to be built as far as the top. Like I said, we're still hopefully we do find a starting number 9 and maybe even a starting keeper. But this is a great signing, and we'll see what he does in the season when he needs to be called on.
We have a starting number 9. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
do we
here
not
we
know
go
our own
again.
squad? Oh my goodness! Come on now. Come on.
Dude, we don't have that much time. We're moving on.
Right. All right.
Did you want to comment, or are you wasting your time on Agudelo?
Wasting my time on American hero Juan Agudelo. By the way, oddly enough, half Colombian Juan Agudelo, and now we have 5 Colombian players on the team, and our coach is Colombian. That's pretty cool.
And mentioned Columbia FC.
Yeah, and Yamosa's first press release, he did half in English, half in Spanish. So it's a new era for SAFC, and I got to say, I like it. I support it.
Oh, hey, there's a comment for you.
Darius hit the spot.
The starting number 9
Moving
that
on.
Legion didn't even want to have.
Moving on.
Moving on.
He got hit.
So San Antonio said, hey, we want another signing, and everybody's like, sure. Nobody had I don't think anybody had double players from Colombia, but San Antonio FC has signed Luis Andres Paredes, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. We haven't got the
Paredes.
Yep.
Paredes.
Anyways, so we haven't got the the pronunciation guide from there. But Luis is a young player with a lot of talent who has experience with one of the best teams in Colombia. He's fast and a strong winger, and we look forward to seeing him settle in our attack and welcoming him to the team. He plays mainly on the right side. Basically, Luis joins SAFC after spending 2 seasons in Colombia's top division with Millionaires?
Millonarios, yep.
Millonarios FC, one of the premier clubs of Colombia. He began with the U20 team before joining the first division side in January 2023, scored 2 goals in 29 matches, and secured the 2023 Torino Apertura Championship, and was also part of the Superliga Colombiana title-winning squad in 2024. So speed, strong, and a winger. We've seen some of the highlights. He looks young. There hasn't been. This one wouldn't shock me if it comes out that he's a multi-year, because if you're looking at the contracts they're signing for, individuals around that 23, 24, 25, they're signing to multi-year. Has not been announced yet if he is a multi-year or just on the 1 year with probably a club option for that here, because, of course, terms were not released here. So, Royce, we'll start with you and, the Agudelo praise for Luis.
He seems definitely like a dynamic winger, dynamic attacker with a lot of speed. He's young, like you said. He's young, and even when he was 18, he was kind of making his way through the top Colombian league. So he seems like a talent that SAFC has kind of had their eye on for this time being, at least with the Yamosa regime, and seems pretty exciting. I mean, even in the preseason games, we've heard his name a couple times. So we'll see, but it seems like an exciting signing for this coming season.
I think Harry's on mute.
Jonathan, anything from the media side outside of the normal release there on Friday?
Not really, honestly, because we went to
that's right.
media and availability on Thursday. So, yeah, they didn't want to throw us a little off the record or, on background bone there. But, yeah, I mean, another promising young player. We'll have to see if they live up to the promise. But SAFC's now got, just like they've got a few options, including now Medranda, a few options in terms of wide defenders. now a few options in that wide midfield area with the likes of Erofeev, possibly Hawkinson, and now this guy, Paredes. So gives SAFC some options if they see, they're all kind of these wide midfielders, wide wingers, but if they've got sort of different talents, different skills, even just different inclinations, maybe some of them want to hug that touchline, maybe some of them want to cut inside. SAFC's got some flexibility there, some depth there. So hopefully those options are able to bear fruit, and hopefully this guy lives up to the hype.
Matt, and then Rafa.
It kind of feels like we're gonna have different rosters again, and by looking at some of these signings, I wonder if it's gonna go back to that, because that's what it kind of feels like with all these different signings that are coming in. But I read a little bit into him. It was pretty cool. Seeing his play and watching some of his scout videos. But like I said, until we get to see him perform, I don't have much to say.
Rafa?
Yeah, seeing his videos on YouTube, like I said, this guy's got potential. I think he's going to do a lot of good things for us. Plus, he's coming from a really good Colombian team. Millonarios is a household name there besides Atlético Nacional and América de Cali. He's part of a really good program, so it's a good. It could be a diamond in the rough that could be kind of like how they found Pirano. This could be kind of the same thing, even though he plays a different position. But I think what the Hermoso wants is trying to get, some, like I said, young and speedy, and it seems like he's getting the players to do that press. And I think that's where we're trying to go back to, like which we didn't do last year, and he fits that role. It sounds like the roster kind of building is like we're going to play in the Copa Libertadores, but hey, it's going to be good for us, going in to this season. So I think he has a game plan, and I think maybe he's using the same blueprint like how Savarese built his teams, and I think I'm kind of seeing that, with him, and like I said, I think this guy's going to do good things, and I think maybe teams are out there maybe not taking us serious, but I think slowly or surely we are building a team that may surprise everyone. And I think if this team can start clicking right away, which I think we saw some clips on some of the scrimmages that I think we're starting to see a little bit of that, and I think who knows, we can bounce back from last year.
So speaking of that here, not much to give on this. SanAntonio played UIW 2-0 in preseason. First goal was in the first half by Luke Hawkinson off of a rebound. And second goal was a beautiful assist from Juan Sebastian Osario, not Juan Carlos, Juan Sebastian Osario to Jake LaCava. Of course, they're going to play SMU Saturday behind closed doors. Starting lineup was Sanchez, Buckmaster, Cronali got the start this match, Tainer, Medranda, Trilas, Luke, Nicky, Jorge, and Agudelo. There's just the one clip online. Any thoughts? I know hard to read much into it, but any thoughts on playing UIW?
They didn't lose, and they didn't give up a goal. That's about as much as, and from what we understand, no injuries. That's about as much as you can ask for from this preseason.
Couple more goal scorers. The first match was, I don't even remember at this point, but it was Cronali and the trialist, I believe, in that first match. This time, Hawkinson and LaCava. So decent variety of scores there. You don't necessarily have someone who's racing out ahead. I think it was last year, Agudelo ended up getting 2, 3, maybe 4 goals or something like that in preseason and ended up as SAFC's leading scorer. This time, you can maybe see a benefit that it's all these different guys on the score sheet because they get that first that first goal of the season, even in preseason, you put it in the back of the net once and you say, all right, this season's going. We're getting the ball rolling this year. Say what you will about the opposition, defenders, goalkeeper, all that, college, maybe even not necessarily their first team for goals that are happening in like the second half, but just get that first touch of goal, that first spark, and you never know what it's going to lead to. Lakava, Hawkinson, Crognale, even, you never know. Really builds confidence.
So my thing here is we're 2 games in, and just some things that I've noticed, and it's still early, but we still haven't seen Alex Grieve, we haven't seen Dimitri, we haven't seen Soto, and obviously we didn't see Luis. At least has not been announced. They did mention 2 trialists. We're assuming in the midfield just on how the formation was set. Any surprises that there's 2 trialists that they're looking to build up the midfield, or you think there's still need some more depth?
I think it's more for depth. I think those trialists probably are former USO players or former MLS players. I don't think they're from off the streets or someone locally. I don't think we're getting some local 210 player. It's players from that have experience, that have come to play from USL, MLS, or South America. And like I said, he's building a team that he knows that he has to build the bench. And then also, maybe the players that did sign, like Dimitri and Alex, like I said, they're still probably working out visa stuff, work permits. Hopefully we'll get those in within the next couple of weeks. Maybe hopefully by the time they play El Paso, because I think that's kind of like the dress rehearsal for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, those trialists are more likely are former players with actual experience. Like I say, I know Jerry says former local. No, these guys are former USL players. They're probably, or former MLS players that he's had his eye on. Maybe with his time in Portland, and like I said, he thinks these guys maybe could possibly fit and be those pieces that he needs in building that bench.
Jonathan?
The only thing I was going to say, first of all, is in answer to that last question that someone asked, yes, I can, with 110% confidence, confirm that both of those trialists are, in fact, Chris Tierpak. But yeah, you see now Medranda and that whole 4-man back line was set. Interesting to see 2 midfielders there, and then I believe the next names on the team sheet were Jorge and Nicky Hernandez. So not really sure if you've got 2 defensive midfielders there. Maybe SAFC's trying them out together, which I think might be a little risky, because then if you're only going to be signing one, well, they're playing next to each other in this match, so I don't know how much you can glean from that. But without seeing the match, without knowing who they are, without knowing even the formation, really, who's to say? It's all just speculation right now. But if I had to put money on it, I think Chris and Chris probably both get signed.
Royce, your thoughts on it?
I mean, you kind of already went around on me, but with the trialists, I don't know if they were midfield trialists, because you did have Nicky start, and obviously Jorge started, so it's possible that they were in the middle along with one other person, and then you had 3 forwards. So one may have been a forward, one may have been a winger, one may have been a midfielder, one may have been a forward. We really don't know who it was.
I just went by how they had it arranged on the lineup, so that's the only way I did. I just
fair
put
enough.
it in those spots.
Fair enough. And what I was thinking, completely honest, that it might be a 4-4-2, and those 2 trialists might be wingers, and you may have Nicky Jorge in the middle, and then who was up front to begin with? Was it Luke and
Agudelo?
And Agudelo. You may have had Luke and Agudelo in the front, 2 wingers, or you may have had a striker with Agudelo up front with Hackinson as a winger and somebody else. It may have been a 4-4-2, may have been a 4-3-3.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're not sure. So
yeah,
jury's out.
Jury's out. So that was the topics I had. I don't know. Well, Jonathan, you attended the media event. So you were the first person that got to ask coach, or at least that what was put out on YouTube under the SAFC YouTube channel. Your thoughts on having a conversation, if you want to call it a conversation with coach, and just kind of the setup that he's doing this year.
Yeah, no, conversation I think is a good way to refer to it. I mean, just not to bog this down too much, but my philosophy in interviews is I'm not necessarily trying to get, okay, can you give me a juicy soundbite, a juicy quote here? Like, no, make it a conversation, actually interact with them, play off of them. So conversation is a good word for it. As far as what was said, didn't feel like there was too much revealed. It's kind of the standard, if you've heard that first day of preseason, the guys are all, oh, it's so great to be back. It's great to be here. San Antonio is such a nice city. I need to get around more. And no disrespect to the players for that, but like it doesn't. We've heard it from the same players year after year. So like, I hope you genuinely are enjoying it here and all that, but it doesn't really give us much to go off of. The one thing that maybe stood out a bit for me, Yamosa also talked a little bit about kind of reiterating his philosophy again about wanting his team to press, be confident going forward with the ball, all that. But also, I think really across two, maybe even all three of the interviews, they alluded to how, particularly for new players, SAFC is kind of trying to ease the process as much as possible. Shannon, Mitch, the coaching staff are just trying to help them settle in because they understand that if they help these players off the field to find their feet in San Antonio, they're going to be able to focus that much more on doing the right things in preseason, getting off on the right foot, having more productive training and all that. And, also just being able to build chemistry with their teammates. So as I believe Shannon Gomez, it was reiterated, he basically said, yeah, we've had this family atmosphere, these vibes in the past, but we just re-emphasized it this year. And with a lot of new guys coming in, that's going to be important, I'd say.
So before we move back to the initial conversation here, because the full trade details are out, and I have to say it's a pretty good trade for the Spurs.
Steal.
And any final words? Because like I said, unfortunately, that's all we have for it here. Next Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday, and hold on, I forgot something. Here we go. I'm not sure if we'll do a show for on Super Bowl Sunday. I highly doubt it. Although who really wants to watch a rigged I'm sorry, the Super Bowl
guy.
Depends if Matt's done crying.
So may not have a show next Sunday. Also, if you guys could give some feedback, and I'm going to have Royce put this out. We've been doing 60 to 90 minute shows, which I enjoy the conversations along those lines here. But for podcast wise and stuff like that may not be the best to help grow the brand. So we're thinking about possibly splitting up part of the shows where Sunday, Monday, depending on schedules and stuff, would be recap. Maybe a midweek show after the after the media availability with Jonathan, and maybe going over the USL news for the week. And then Royce wants to see about doing a pregame show Saturday morning, 8-9 o'clock in the morning, along those lines here. So if that is something that you think that you would be interested in, as opposed to one full show, as far as where we kind of cram everything in on Sunday, Sunday night, Monday night, along those lines here. I think we're leaning towards that. So we got to work out the schedules here and a few other things for that here. But if that's something that would appeal to you guys, please let us know, because we do want to try to make sure that Aguilar's like on it, dude. Boo, Kansas City, let's go Eagles.
He just has to go after Czech next. That's the last person. He already
Is
got
that-
Royce. He got Rafa. He got me.
Is Aguilar Harry's burner account? Is he tweeting while we're on the show? Is that what's happening?
So, but any feedback that you guys have? I know Royce has mentioned, his preferences for shows that are a little bit shorter. Like I said, here I go either way. I enjoy the conversations, but I do understand, podcast wise, not everybody's got an hour and a half, 2 hour car ride, especially here in San Antonio, and hopefully you don't, to be able to listen to a show. So Royce does bring up some good points. Plus, it keeps him out of the doghouse with the wife, which is probably the number one reason for Royce. Matt, you don't have to worry about that. Your mom doesn't say anything.
That's tough. That's tough. Wow.
Days. I'm not gonna lie. There's days.
Pre-game show and home day from the tailgate. We'd have to test it out. We'd have to test it out, the internet and stuff. The quality might be something that we could look into.
Last time we tried that in the stadium, and we got
we got ran out of town.
But we can probably maybe do it outside of the stadium, so that's a possibility.
And we could maybe talk to the media person and possibly, but yeah, it might be something that we look into. But for me, that's about it. The full trade, according to Shams Charnia, SHAMSCHARANIA. I guess he's the new Woj. Full trade. Spurs get De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Kings get Zach Levine, Sydney
Sissoko,
3 first-round picks, the 2025 of Charlotte, 2027 of San Antonio, 2031 of Minnesota, 3 second-round picks, 2025 Chicago, 2028 Denver, 2028 their own back. The Bulls get Zach Collins, everybody's favorite Spurs, Trey Jones, Kevin Horter, and their own 2025 pick back via San Antonio Spurs.
Damn it!
But
so San Antonio,
there goes our tifo.
San Antonio pulled this off without giving up Castle, Vassell, or Keldon Johnson.
And you're missing the most important one.
Fleeced.
The Atlanta first round pick that's unprotected. They did not give that up.
That's what.
Wait, so they didn't give up any other.
Oh boy! Hold on now.
So what picks did they give up? I haven't looked at.
They just gave up the Charlotte one, which was protected, and then their
which
own,
will probably be a second round pick,
a high one. Yep, and then the Minnesota one, which they traded for. Remember
earlier
they traded this year.
Last year too.
Yeah. This is basically a steal. This is a steal.
And then the second round picks, but yeah.
I can't wait for the podcast tomorrow.
This is
it'll be crazy.
This is Brian. What's his name? What's the GM's name?
Brian Wright.
Brian Wright. This is Brian Wright's biggest deal of his career, and it's a damn good one.
On the surface, it's where you don't give up the Atlanta pick. To me, that's key, especially with Atlanta losing their number one scorer. Which they've lost 9 in a row.
Well, yeah, they lost their.
They're not tanking.
No, they're not tanking. They lost their best player.
They lost their best player
out for the year.
They're done.
Yeah, and that's going to make that pick all the better if they end up even lower. But like I said,
they didn't give up any of
the Spurs
young
acquiring
players either.
Exactly, the Spurs acquiring De'Aaron Fox. And without having to give up Castle, Vassell, or Keldon, that's unbelievable.
Can I give a hot take? I would have given up Vassell.
No,
that's a really dumb hot take.
Hell no!
Yeah.
Hell no!
That's a really dumb hot take.
I would have given.
That's why you're a Dino fan, dude. That's why you're a Dino fan.
Trey Jones is on an He's on an expiring contract. I think Collins is too. So
yeah,
they're going to be free agents next year. So
Trey
this
Jones,
is a steal.
You don't need him.
All right.
Yeah, because then I have DeAndre Fox. So yeah, they did. They stole this one.
I have a.
So I can hear the. Like I said, I can hear all the people honking on Commerce.
I have a suggestion. Absolutely, I have a suggestion. So, the pregame show Saturday mornings, that's going to be called San Antonio FC Fancast, and then the Sunday review show is going to be called Shit Takes with Matt Gamez.
Oh wow.
I'm okay with it.
Matt's like, hey, I'm in the name. Look, Mom, I'm on TV.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But I do have a what's the word? A final thought. If we're going through them right now.
Yep, go ahead.
So I don't know how many of our followers are in part of one of the fan pages on Facebook. I did put out this is the time where a lot of rumors pop up and a lot of heated talks come into play. If anything doesn't come from the supporter groups or SAFC, please don't. Let's not try to ruffle feathers at this point. Whether it be about parking, tailgates, let's just wait until we announce it or they announce it first before we start getting that rumor out there. Because I don't need a recap of last year and having to go run through the fires to try to fix that.
But I'm going to say this. A lot of that was on SanAntonio FC for waiting until the week before the season.
But at the same time, we went through that meeting and a certain someone also blurted out more than what he should have.
No, I get that, but the information has to come out earlier. I'm not saying it was right or
100%.
wrong. You
100%.
can't, the week of the game, you can't blame people for trying to get the information to let people know. That to me, and the person was wrong, and hopefully, he's not involved or in that position anymore, whoever it was, for that here, or had a talking to, whatever, I don't want anything bad happen to him by any means. But to me, as an organization, this is the transparency that we're talking about. And so far, SAFC has been much better this year. All credit to them. It seems like they are listening, at least on the surface. I still don't like that they haven't had the meeting with you guys yet, which was supposed to happen in November, but I'm not part of the supporters group. Like I said here, I'm out of it. I just want what's best. And as long as the supporters groups are happy with whatever happens, I can live with it. Hopefully they've listened to the fans. Obviously, they're getting the video board. They're upgrading the field and the fence around it, the railing around it. So they did listen. Security, like I said, that's, we'll see how that is game one for that and go from there. But as a fan, you have to be happy with what the steps that SanAntonio FC has taken so far. All credit goes out to them, Jose, and who's the guy that you work with a lot? Taylor. Have done a great job communicating with us. Mine Ticket guys reached out to me, a couple of times here, letting me know, hey, things are here. Hey, you haven't registered. Is everything all right? Rafa's like, nobody's reached out to me.
Usually.
So all credit to them. Like I said, they as of February 2nd, they have stepped up. Now, will they continue and will 2025 bring some new issues? I'm sure there will be, but like I said here, it's a clean slate. It's a new era, as they're saying. We as fans also have to bring in as a new era. It's we've got some great veterans that are coming back. It looks like we've got some potential, nice potential, even if USL Tactics, John Morrison, and Nick Murray from the league site doesn't give us any credit. That's all right. Sleep on us at your own will.
But I will say, and I will stand on that hill of they did listen, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. They did listen to everybody. So just be patient, and let's just see how it goes through.
All right, Harry, any final thoughts?
I was doing final thoughts, Rafa.
Just my final thoughts. Like I said, just a good way for SAFC getting 2 teams, and hopefully we're not done yet. I'm sure they still have a couple aces up their sleeve. Maybe, like I said, maybe a number 9, a goalkeeper, and maybe more in the midfield. Like I said, it probably won't be a local player, but I know we're probably getting someone from USL or MLS or a loan. But like I said, looking forward to this week. Should be a fun game against SMU, which is a quality NCAA college team. Should be a good one. And then also, for me and Harry will be on Thursday for the the Roundtable show. We'll have the RPIs for that. Should be interesting. There'll be a lot of changes now. Some good. We're on lots of games this past week, and so that was fun. And so some this week, and look forward for a fun and exciting week in soccer.
Jay, check your thoughts on final thoughts and anything that you got planned for this week.
Well, since you talk about plans, not so much for this week necessarily yet, but I did, even though, like I said, SAFC's first media availability was a little bit cliche, I put together what I could from the interviews Thursday, talked a bit about SAFC coming in. It kind of echoes back to what I was saying earlier about how they're trying to help some of these guys settle in. And basically just the gist of it, I would say, is yeah, there are a lot of new players. Yes, it's a new coach and everything. A lot of change with SAFC this year. But at the same time, these are guys who have been through this experience at previous teams and previous cities and all that before. So, yeah, they're kind of fitting the pieces together, but they know kind of how the process goes. Other than that, I guess I would also say, since we referred to potential signings, in the second half of this past Saturday's game against UIW, SAFC had, I think, 7 trialists. So definitely still plenty of guys trying to make their case, guys that SAFC thinks, I don't know, maybe you have a spot on this year's roster. I don't necessarily mean that they're going to sign all 7 of them, but there are 7 still in the mix. Even if they take half of those, that's another 3 signings right there. Even if it's only a couple, hey, that's a couple more signings, bolsters the squad a bit, gives SAFC some depth, which is hopefully a luxury rather than a necessity.
Roster sits at 20 already, by the way. We already did Rafa, Matt, Jonathan. My final thought is it's February, Black History Month. Celebrate it. Like I said here, just with all the craziness that's going on, just like I said here, make sure you celebrate the holidays that mean something to you and to our history. Number 2, be kind to everybody. I'm trying to take a different approach, not engage with stuff, political stuff on social media as best as I can. Outside of the school vouchers, children's education for me still gets to me for that here. But like I said here, just don't engage if you don't have to. Like I said here, it doesn't do anybody any good. Do your Matt Gomez hot takes on sports, Dynamo, Austin FC, FC Dallas, how great or how horrible they are, the Spurs, how good or bad this trade is. The Super Bowl, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Broncos, soccer. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can put our efforts towards that. Number 1, it's release and hopefully more healthy for you, as long as you're doing it healthy and not being somebody that's abusing players or referees along those lines. Don't be that far, but, just have your fun along those lines and just be nice to people. If we can go back to treating people with respect as a society, we'll be much better. Royce?
Yeah, my final thought, just real quick. That's a great one, Harry. I fully support that 100%. But my final thought is congrats to former San Antonio FC striker, San Antonio FC alumni, Sam Adeniran, for scoring his first goal for Australian League team LASK in the OFB. That's one of their cup competitions down there. He scored the game-winning goal against RB Salzburg, the powerhouse of the Australian leagues, and I believe the 102nd minute to win the game 2-1. So, really cool result. Sounds like his European career is getting off to a hot start. So, you love to see it. Go Big Sam. We're behind you, big guy. And I believe that's all we have. We're out of here, and our 30-minute show turned into 45. But, hey, we're getting better. And we'll talk to you all later this week. Have a good one. What's life without goals? Peace.